Good morning and welcome to another compelling episode of Inside Blue 360 with my partner, the highly decorated Sergeant Jerry Kane from, where'd you used to work, Jerry? Manhattan South Robbery, right?
Hey, listen, Bronx girl,
Yes,
take it
right.
easy.
I worked in the Bronx, whatever. So we have a bunch of cool stuff coming up today.
So this is my partner, Detective Michele. She was a narco ranger in the Boogie Down Bronx for like 640 years or something like that.
Like 11 years.
So she thinks that she's got it all over us guys who worked in Manhattan, only because we ate in restaurants with linen napkins and she had to bring all her food from home.
I had to eat at the bodega.
As always, we start our show with the dreary countdown that today is day 55 of New York State being held hostage by the Bail Reform Act.
Yes.
The hits just keep on coming for us here at Inside Blue 360. We love talking about bail reform. It seems that in the news cycle, it's kind of slowed down, almost like the news people are gotten a little fatigued. Talking about it.
Well, yeah, it's like anything else. It's the revolving door of justice.
Right. I guess the revolving door of the news cycle is the same thing, right?
Right. And the thing is, too, though, I know on some of the local news channels they had the guy on that brought out about what you were saying last week, the judge that found the loophole.
Yes.
And so according to him, there's a lot of little statutes like that within this bail reform that nobody sat and said, wait, how can we apply this, and that, and that's what really I think has to be done. They have to find, redefine it, so to speak, and find all these loopholes that can expedite this process and put some justice back in the system.
Right, just to recap it for our people who might be new listeners to the show or new watchers of the show or those who aren't in law enforcement in New York State. Our state legislators, legislators, and the executive of the state, our governor, signed an act last year that came into effect on January 1st, which for almost every crime except for like murder and assault with a weapon, set that there'd be no bail and people wouldn't be held for trial in jail. They would just be given a court date and released. Mm-hmm. And Michele and I know, because of our decades in law enforcement, that this wasn't going to work, and it's not working. And now we're in a political season, and the Democrats control New York State, but those Democrats that are in districts that are flippable, that aren't necessarily very, very far left, so a Republican might win it, are all nervous now, and they're all clamoring for the governor to change this, maybe give judges a little more leeway to hold people that would abscond or reoffend, which is a lot, or the scary one is be danger to society.
Exactly, but ironically, Governor Cuomo, when we were just talking about this before, instead, I guess he's getting tired of it too, because now he's looking into legalizing weed. Like, he just flipped, how about we worry about these guys coming out? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
let's work on like one issue at a time instead of...
That's
definitely, like, I'm going to try to get re-elected real fast. I'll just legalize pot. They'll forget about the bail reform.
He's been reelected a couple times now. So
I know, but it's just funny
he must have this down on how to manage the population.
Bait and switch. It's like when you walk into the clothing store, the expensive stuff's right there, and then you go, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to buy this. I know all about how they do that. I worked in retail.
You did?
Yes.
You did. So not only a veteran detective from the Boogie Down, but also a retail shopping advisor. We could do a whole segment about that.
I love that job. That was the best.
So bail reform is stuck with us. It's not going anywhere, it looks like, for a while. There's a lot of talk about changing things.
Yep.
The one I keep hearing is the New Jersey model, which is where judges are allowed to take into consideration the defendant's character and possibility of reoffending or hurting people. I know, to tell you the truth, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine, because you need somebody who's once removed. Like CJA, actually, it seems, that's who's letting these people out.
Well,
It has to be, because they come and they interview if you have community ties. That's the Community Justice Administration. They come and interview a prisoner, for those of you who don't know. Whenever somebody's locked up, they go and they interview the person and see if they have community ties, if they have money available, and this, and that. So then, like, after that step, you know, whoever's making the decision, you know, you got to really. I don't know that anybody's doing any.
I don't know.
computer
CJA
checks.
even has a role with this bail reform.
Yeah,
though.
I don't know if it even
All the
existed.
work that they do, establishing a person's background
Right.
and so forth. I don't think there might not even be a play for them anymore.
Yeah,
'cause it
I
doesn't
was
matter.
just curious because they were the people who interviewed the defendants and would find out what the deal is, if they had family and in the community, if they had any ties, and they were the ones. That was the whole purpose. So the pressure from your friends and family to
Right.
send you back to jail, you know, would work. I think that's much better than the Mets tickets and what do you call it? All that other stuff.
Wow. Well, we just
Breaking news.
breaking news. It won't be breaking when you see this.
It's breaking to us though.
Harvey Weinstein convicted of rape in New York State Court.
Gun.
Yeah,
Man, oh man, where was he
Unbelievable.
when I was starting my career out?
So
boy?
I should call my friend Jonah Luzzi, who was the prosecutor of the case, is a very, very good friend of mine. Jonah Luzzi is one of the best district attorneys in Manhattan. She's done many, many, many important cases. Really, really good, strong prosecutor. This case, which was the start of the whole Me Too movement.
It was also deadlocked over the weekend. The judge made him go back.
Well, you know, it was an interesting case. I never did special victims work directly. I've worked on like as like an add-on to some
Right.
special victims cases, and
Yeah.
especially on some task forces where they were doing some big special victims cases. But this was an interesting one because some of these cases went back decades.
Right.
And you know, Harvey Weinstein was a bigger, powerful man in Hollywood.
Right.
And it used to be like a joke. I guess it was a
The
bad joke.
casting
The
couch.
casting couch, right? So
He had more than a couch, Harvey.
so the
He had rooms.
yeah. So
Hashtag Me Too.
if only, right?
This
You-
changes the whole industry now.
It changes the whole industry.
He made a lot of movies, and then he was telling the judge that he was upset because he feels that his reputation was getting damaged by this because he made such great quality movies. But what he should have done is watch like The Sopranos or something. Remember when like who's the mobster that went in?
Oh, the crazy guy, the Oddfather, Vinny the Chin.
Because
Vinny the Chin.
just having a walker doesn't work it anymore.
Well,
it doesn't cut it. Back surgery doesn't cut it. You need the pajamas and the craziness.
So I think his going in with the walker
Yeah, that hurt him.
was bad. I'll tell you why. Let's look at Harvey. We all saw him, right? Pictures of him, right? His whole thing was, I was a master of the universe, so these beautiful, beautiful women wanted to have sex with
Yeah.
me. But he comes walking in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who he is. Who would want to have sex with that guy, right?
I know.
So he should have been walking in like a freaking $5,000 suit. Like, I don't give
Like
a crap.
John Gotti.
Right?
That's
And
how
sat
you
there
walk
like,
in.
Of course these women want to sleep with me. Because
Yeah.
look at me.
Yeah.
Instead he was like,
He wasn't-
dribbling and all this shit. Like, whatever he was doing. It was
he
terrible.
just looked horrible. I don't know where he had his surgery done, but I know I had neck surgery and I was back on my feet much sooner than, you know.
Well, maybe because you're not a rapist. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
not being a rapist adds to your recovery period.
That's true.
Harvey Weinstein. So he has all the money in the world, right? He's obviously going to appeal. There's going to be a lengthy appellate process, but he is not going to do well in jail.
No, I will say this though. I have to say everybody needs to be represented, you know. And so the two lawyers that were representing him, the female, and I don't know her name offhand, so somebody has to Google it or look through the newspaper. And then the other lawyer, the male, he always wears a hat. He's actually a correspondent on one of the local news channels. Very well spoken. And when you listen to their argument, and you don't have to agree with it, but it's just so interesting how you hear the
Right.
different sides, how they can spin it, and you know how a jury can end up deadlocked.
Right.
These, you know, so there's these lawyers that are just wizards in this.
So we're going to have a very interesting guest next week. We're going to have Ron Kuby, a very, very
Yeah.
famous defense attorney, is going to be a guest of ours next week.
Yeah, let's hear it for Ron Kuby. Might as well clap.
And you know, it's possible that the studio that we shoot in will crumble and fall to
No,
collapse around
I'll
us.
take a bullet for that guy. He's a good guy.
Ron, who so everybody deserves a defense.
That's what I'm saying,
In our
right.
system, right? And when I became a cop, I can tell you that a week before I became a cop, I never in my life, thought I would ever need a defense attorney for anything. And then I was probably a cop maybe a month or two, and it occurred to me I could do something morally right, but legally wrong. And then what would I need? I would need a freaking defense attorney.
Right.
And so everybody deserves to have a defense. It's what separates us from these banana republics and other places. And Harvey Weinstein did have an adequate defense.
Right.
But he's going to go to jail now, probably.
Exactly.
Because the prosecution proved their case. But he'll pay people to protect him in jail.
Right.
For those that don't know, the way it works when you're ultra rich and you go to jail, you find like the toughest guy in jail, the toughest gang in jail, and then your person on the outside puts all their relatives who are on the outside on the payroll, and know these guys inside now protect you. So that's the
Right.
only way Harvey Weinstein.
I don't know that the Bloods or the Aryan Nation is going to protect him, though. I don't think he has that going for him.
money. He'll have both of them protected.
Maybe.
It'll be like a joint
Maybe he
operation.
can actually bring the world together. He can bring the world together. Some good could come out of this.
He's got
maybe.
millions and millions of dollars. So.
Well, maybe not anymore.
Well.
Maybe not anymore.
Well, I guess the other part then is now that he's convicted as a rapist, I do believe that there are many, many civil suits already in the docket
absolutely.
against him. So
Yes.
now all those civil suits are now more legitimate.
Right. And just like I do stand-up comedy, nobody's going to come and say, hey, if you sleep with me, I'll give you a spot. Because quite frankly, if they did, I wouldn't be on this podcast. I'd be on HBO. But that's okay. That's totally okay. But not every female is going to feel very comfortable saying that. I was brought up a different way. A lot of females that they might not have had that. My father taught me right away, go get the flat fix, because it doesn't look like you get married anytime soon, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? He loved me, don't worry. But
I'm sure he did.
he did. He actually did. But what I'm saying is that for a lot of women, they say, oh, that's ridiculous. Like, why didn't they just do this, this, and that? There's not a lot of women who can do that, unfortunately, because they just see the carrot, the golden carrot. Right. Donna Rotono.
That was the lawyer for her.
She's the lawyer.
And the other lawyer was Arthur Idala Jr., I believe.
Yeah.
And I believe his father was also on a defense team,
Yes.
Arthur Idala Sr.
I've heard both of them speak. Very well spoken. I've heard the Arthur.
Yeah, he's on Channel 5.
Right. I've heard him speak about other cases. And really, it's like, it's very easy to say, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about, like Alan Dershowitz. But when you listen to what they say, I just think it's just... it's just interesting to hear how they can spin something and make it work for them. Find the loophole. That's what their job is.
So, Harvey, wow, that's unbelievable.
They don't care if you're innocent or guilty. Their job is just to get you.
I give the jurors a lot of credit because they knew that they had a.
I guess the tampering didn't work, Harvey. Didn't he tamper with somebody? Oh, that might have been the other one.
No, that was John Gotti who tampered with jurors.
No, I'm thinking of Jeffrey Epstein. I thought he tampered with people.
Jeffrey Epstein tampered with people. I don't know if he tampered with any juries.
I think he did something like that. Yeah, he did. That's what happens when you have money.
Wow, holy cow, unbelievable. Well, to Jonah Luzzi and to the team at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, kudos and congratulations. Proud to call Joan a friend, and hopefully right now, like you say, there's some young actress, and she's either here in New York or in L.A. or anywhere, and she's going in for a meeting with an important man, and instead of being nervous and scared, now maybe she's filled with some hope.
Well, like I see that a lot out. I see that by a lot of these comedians. They go out and they take a class, and it's like, Jesus, I can tell you. I'll show you how to write a joke. Don't pay $400, and then they feel like they owe something. That's what happens. There's such desperation out there, and I just found out that the Met tickets are donated. By the way. The ones that they give away to... do they have any opening day?
Will Harvey Weinstein get Met tickets now while he's
when
waiting for his appeal?
Somebody bought them and donated.
When they give away those Met tickets, is there blackout dates? Like if I want to go on Bobblehead Day, I want to go on Mike Piazza Bobblehead Day, is that blacked out? Because I'll jump that turnstile. I have no problem. If I
Listen,
jump the turnstile, can I get Met tickets?
You're gonna end up in the big house with Harvey Weinstein,
right,
and
me
then
and
we'll have to do a live remote from Attica.
That's right. I have family in law enforcement. I already told them, don't worry, I'll take the summons. I don't jail well, but I figure it out. You know what I mean?
Oh
I can
my
scrap
gosh!
a little bit.
My gosh! Well,
I'm gonna start a team in there.
we'll start a team.
We have a really cool guest today. Why don't you introduce our first guest,
So our
Jerry?
first guest, and we'll probably reconfigure our set. We'll come back for a little after a little break and a little reconfiguration. Is going to be a retired NYPD sergeant by the name of Vinny Benvenuto. Vinny and I were cops together, as we like to say, back in the day. Vinny's a friend of the show. Vinny's an interesting cat, and he's got some interesting role models and heroes that have helped shape his life. And
It's probably like me. Like I have wacky ones that shape my life.
I think his might even be a little wackier, to tell you the truth. Vinny's a great guy. He once maced me in the face once, not with like a medieval mace, but with chemical mace, and also threw a hot cup of coffee on me one time. I let it go. Apparently not. But Vinny will chat with us, and then after Vinny, we're gonna have another retired.
This guy's very cool,
NYPD
Pat
guy.
Russo.
Yeah.
He does boxing with cops and kids. That's cool stuff. And I love the Golden Gloves. You ever watch the Golden Gloves?
I do.
Remember they used to have those precinct smokers?
They used to have precinct
Those
smokers.
were amazing, man. They were a lot of fun. And the Golden Gloves is a real deal thing. Like, that's a big thing for a young boxer. And so he's going to talk about that, but he also has a guy that's going to Tokyo 2020 this year. He's going to go for boxing. That's going to be cool, man.
Is he going to box the coronavirus? What's he going to box?
That's in another country.
It's
Jerry.
in Japan. There's been a cruise ship in Japan.
Jesus.
I know where you're going with that. There's been a cruise ship docked in Japan.
I'm gonna wear one of these. Anybody have any of those masks? I'm gonna get a cool one though with a smile on my face.
So, and
Yeah, they have them in Florida.
Yes, that'll be the next thing. You'll know coronavirus is hit New York City when we're doing
That's
the podcast.
right. It's the night before.
masks.
It's Monday. Mardi Gras is tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna get one of those cool masks and go on the subway and just go get my own seat. Right? Throw out some beads. We gonna party out there. Number 1 coming back. All right, we'll be back.
We'll be back.